Guys, welcome back to VenGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta, taking you through the fourth part of our playthrough of Simcity Beta 3, the one right before launch here. This is the fully unlocked version again, so if you're playing the game post-launch here and just now checking out our video, don't worry, it's all the same content, so no problems there. But we had a little bit of a break in our video. Vendetta, why don't you explain that a little bit and bring us up to speed on what's changed since we left this last time here.
Hey guys, yeah, we lost about 20-25 minutes worth of video. Due to a technical difficulty, just the recording software we were using kind of crapped out on us. What I did accomplish in the meantime was I did get my trade depot going in Demo City. I finally have some nice oil exports working for me. I have the Department of Utilities as well unlocked, so I have access to the Tier 2 water and sewage.
Which is going to be key here before too long, because as you can see, we're placing multiple pumping stations here or not pumping stations, just the standard water towers. We want to place a pumping station.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, the poop pipes over at the other end of the map here are starting to become less than decorative.
Yeah, the ground over there is saturated and almost pure black.
Yeah, it's seriously, I think if you get too close to that thing, you just get sucked in. I'm surprised
a black hole
there in the middle of the map isn't just straight over there. Look at that. Oh.
Yeah, look at the ground pollution. It's just a big bad.
Yeah, that's no good at all. But thankfully there's no one living up there, so no problem. Again, we're only using about, you know, maybe about half this map right now, and look at the population has surged up about another 20,000 since the end of the last video, I believe. So
yeah, again, even with the 25 minutes, you know, that's just kind of what's been going on. I've really started to get my skyscrapers finally developing.
Yeah, there's a lot of vertical growth here once again, and it's continuing on the fly here, as you can see it.
Yeah, really you guys can see it happening.
Yeah, this is a really nice little pan down the street here for us, just to kind of get a nice bird's eye view what's going on with this and get down close even.
Yeah,
traffic obviously still a thing.
Traffic is a problem.
Yeah.
I don't get down to the street level too often. I'm just usually so busy with the macro level stuff. Yeah. I really should take more time to look at the micro, because it is a beautiful game.
It is. It's very cool, and I've seen it mentioned before too even on some forums, or even actually the developers themselves in some of their videos, saying that they spend as much or even more time at that micro level than they do it in this overworld, and, you know, sort of the god view, as it were.
Yeah, I believe we have Ocean Quigley on record saying that he spends about 20 minutes in the view I'm in right now, and then he'll spend about 45 minutes in street level view.
Which, there you have it. So, but he's allowed to. He's allowed to like his game and want to see it.
It's a work of art, truly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right here you guys can see I've put a lot of police in, but traffic is really starting to hurt me. My police can't get to where they're going. Criminals are running loose, causing mayhem.
Yeah, and you see they're all bunched up right there. They just can't get down the block to where all the criminals are. So
yeah,
this is an occasion here where you might have to try to redesign your streets a little bit more, or obviously you can go for mass transit, which it looks like that's what you're going to head for here.
Yeah, I'm playing the bus stations, and I'm trying to figure out which ones I want. I hadn't built the bus terminal before, so I was like, yeah, let's give this a shot.
And that's the one that I think that was unlocked. Is that unlocked by the Department of Transportation, I believe?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I built, I think, 2 videos ago.
Right.
In order to get my train up and running.
Exactly. But this thing is crazy. I don't know if you've seen as you search for a nice spot to put it here, if you've seen the previous any videos of the early betas and such. The standard bus station that you can put out there, you know, it costs about $7,000 to put like one bus out, you know.
Yeah.
And this thing, you know, you place it down, and what is it, about like 15 or something? But you get how many
50.
buses?
You get 3 buses per 15,000.
Right. So really nice discount there, you know, and it's just a lot better sort of situation that you can place these advanced buildings. And the same thing goes for the water station later and the sewage treatment plant. You know, it's expensive up front, but it's so much more economical to use these buildings when you have the chance.
Yeah, the pumping station equals 8 water towers, and, you know, as Goose is saying, it is more cost
effective.
Yeah, cost effective up front, but it is well worth it because the cost of operating it is less.
Yeah, it's going to do well in the long run. And here you're just dotting around some some bus station terminals. Obviously, it's kind of the same premise as the school buses, of course, but
Yeah.
you just want to paint the area green, you know, but not completely green. I mean, don't need
Yeah, you don't have to go
there.
whack-a-mole.
So yeah, here's a really good view of the municipal bus garage here, and this one will serve other cities in the region as well, which is nice.
Right, and that's an important distinction between the regular bus station, which does not.
Yeah, definitely. But it seems as the further you go in the game and the longer you play, the more interactive your cities just happen to become on accident, really. You know, you don't even have to be purposely going for that multi-city play. If you start building these advanced buildings, a lot of them are going to go out there and interact with the cities, whether you're doing it or not.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just sort of the way the game is built. But got some really nice response time on the buses there. It's saying, you know, 17 or 19 minutes there. That's, as long as that number's green, you're generally in good shape and your customers are happy, and it's having a positive impact on your traffic flow. So that's what you're looking for here.
Yeah, I think in later cities, I would have preferred to go with streetcars, just because I think they're maybe a little better with traffic flow, but I didn't have the time really to set it up here.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one of those situations in the full version of the game when you have unlimited time, or maybe you kind of redesign some of your streets there a little bit to support that streetcar variation.
Right.
Like now with you're realizing, I'm sure at this stage that the beta is probably within the last hour, and you're not going to be able to go too much longer, so you just kind of make the most of it.
Yeah, I was under the gun. You know, I wanted to see how much stuff I could kind of play with before launch, and just trying to experiment. You know, it's the beta. There's no consequences.
Exactly. That's key, and you just want to mess around with it as much as you can. So your education, I see, is they're still yelling at you about that. No high school yet?
No high school.
Yeah, everybody's still in grade school around here.
They can count to 5.
Seriously. I think they can count up to ace. That's it. Yeah, they're going to work in the casino. That's it. They figured out that much.
Exactly. So here, as you guys can see, again, looking at that traffic overlay, massive traffic problems. It's just terrible.
Yeah, and that's going to have an effect on all services. Obviously, you know, fire department there can't get over to the burning building. So what are you going to do, you know? So time to adjust some of that for sure is a way to go there. You can certainly place more of them. That always helps. But
yeah, because adding more traffic or more cars to traffic equals better traffic.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
See, that's Gambleton math right there, folks.
That is. Yes. 2 + 2 = giraffe. Clearly. Oh. Oh my goodness. Still, you know, I guess it can't hurt really putting 1 or 2 other trucks out there, but it's just that one little thoroughfare right there that's the issue, where all the poop is now.
Yep. Back to the poop.
And there it is. Yeah, that excellent hole in the earth there at the edge. We got 6 sewage pipes, and it's still not enough.
Yeah, they just keep flushing.
That's just incredible.
And there's my police just doing nothing, being stuck in traffic, eating donuts, as it were.
Yeah. What else are they supposed to do? They're just going to drive in circles around that little loop.
Yeah, they're pretty useless.
Yeah. This is it would be a good time again to redesign the streeting there if you had more time with it, but instead we'll flip over here to Demo City. Now, we also did encounter some server issues here at one point. Yeah, right here. We just skipped ahead some of that content there, so you guys can not have to sit there and stare at loading screens for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, it took about 6 minutes, but we didn't get any more gameplay in, so you guys aren't missing out.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything here. We're just flipping back over to this city, and actually we have one more little server hiccup, I think, here in about, you know, a minute or so as we're trying to flash back over to Gambleton. But check out that power now. You were having power problems in the other city, and come back over here and pump it up with just a couple more smokestacks, and boom, 22.5 megawatt excess.
Yeah, you guys can see I put my trade depot right there, right next to my oil well. I did that on purpose so that the freight times were low and I could get more money, you know, quicker.
Yeah, and that's absolutely critical. You know, you want to make the best use of that, and it just so happens this city design was perfect because all the oil was right down there near the highway exit. So the oil well's there, the trade depot there, and then ride it back out to the rest. So here again, another little flip. We were trying to go over to Gambleton, but
it crashed.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a crash there, you know, with the servers, so we just popped back in now and back at it.
Yeah, I decided to go change up a little bit and go back to Demo City and kind of explore some of my options here, try to build this up a little bit.
Yeah, and you ended up having a lot of fun in this city, more than you really anticipated it, if I recall.
Yeah, to be honest, I really did. I didn't think I would enjoy a big oil city. I thought that play style was not really my thing. I thought it might be boring, but it's really complete opposite of that. I was having a ball doing it.
Yeah, which is, I mean, part of the joy of this is trying to figure out, you kind of think you have an idea of what you're going to find fun, and sometimes it's going to end up where the thing that you're doing just to finance your fun ends up being the thing that's more fun.
Exactly.
So, and you're just really not going to know until you get in here and start messing with it.
Yeah, here are some awesome road laying abilities by me.
Yeah, these are some awesome roads.
Yeah,
perfect.
Some roads.
Yeah, parallel roads or something. What's going on here?
I think I might have had a beer or 12.
Or 30. Yeah, you're rock. Look, just draw it over there.
Just intersect it with the rail. We don't care anymore.
You know what the problem is they don't teach geometry in 3rd grade. That's really...
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. So we never got that high school, and this is the effect, folks. Oh, yeah. That is messed up 6 ways from Sunday right there.
Hey, I'm under the gun, man. I had to get it done.
That's true. You didn't have time to go back and bulldoze and do all that fun stuff that you would normally. Normally, I don't think your OCD would stand for something like that.
No. I would nuke the city before I would have those crooked ass grids.
Oh. So here, it looks like you're trying to maybe upgrade the oil station here.
Yeah, but the idea behind it is I wanted to upgrade the amount of oil that this thing is pumping out, but the service road is a little cattywampus and wouldn't quite cooperate, so I decided to draw a real road through here.
Well, and it still isn't going to do it.
It's rebuking me all the way.
Oh, man. You can put it out there, but you're not going to hardly get any oil out of that spot that's out there, I saw, so.
Yeah, it has to be to the left or the right of the road. It won't let you put it, like, on the very end of it. And that's, what I was kind of looking for, and it's just totally rebuking me.
Yeah, well.
I finally just gave up.
Yeah, it's still pulling in some good coin for you there, for sure, even without one more pump, but.
Absolutely.
I could just smell your frustration trying to place that, though.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? Screw it.
Right.
I give up.
Sometimes you just need to bounce and go on to other things. So
yeah,
no worries.
So I got huge industry demand in this city. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is draw a road up there to the other side of the hill. I want to put some more industry up there and kind of expand that, get some more jobs going, some more tax base, just so I can improve my services.
Yep. And it's going to pull in, workers from Gambleton are going to flow over here and fill all these industry jobs. They already are, and this will just pull in some more, really, so.
Yeah, so that's improving my economy even more.
Yeah, they're whining pretty hard about fire service here because you don't have any in this city, but...
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a building on fire. I think I pan out and you guys will see that in a second.
Which, yeah, you could be sending some fire service over from Gambleton, but, whatever. It's just like a factory or something, right?
Exactly.
Who cares?
I didn't really care about this city when I started off.
And then, ironically, you end up caring about it more.
Yeah, I ended up actually liking this city better than Gambleton. And I wasn't even trying that hard with this city.
Yeah, well, sometimes it goes that way,
Yeah.
So, no big deal. But so filling in some zoning here for them to build up the industry. And
yeah, we like our air pollution in Demo City.
Hey, you know what? Somebody's going to do it. You might as well make a buck. How about that road right there? It looks like there's a landslide right there on the front. Hope you don't have to drive down there.
Looks like a mudslide midway through the freeway.
Yeah. Oh, talk about a traffic problem.
Yeah, clearly a graphic error, guys.
Yeah, sometimes that'll happen, and it's okay. But all right, so back over to Gambleton for a little bit.
Maybe. I think this was the other server hiccup we had.
Oh, right, dude. That's right. We had a couple of different ones, but
there we go.
Yeah, back in here. So
yeah, we cut out about 5 minutes. You're welcome.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, yeah, wow, I just can't get over how vertical things have gotten just over a few hours of play.
Yeah, this really is kind of my favorite, part of... I like Demo City better, but the look of the skyscrapers is really cool.
Yeah, and it can get even higher, and go even more high-tech looking and modernized.
Yeah, this is with no education. Oh, I mean grade school education.
Yeah, grade school education buildings. These are like tenements and stuff here. Long shot apartments. So That's funny. Oh,
Right here, I'm trying to add some more buses again to help with that mass transit issue.
oh, here comes the power. You were short on power there before, but that's before
Oh,
you
yes. Here we go.
pop those smokestacks. Oh, that's such a like therapeutic feel, look right there.
I love that sound when you can hear them all clicking on.
Yep.
It makes me happy inside.
Yeah, that
And
is water too, the same way.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering why it says 0, that's because when you buy resources from another city in the region, you only use as much as you consume. So if you only need 100, you're only going to buy 100, and that's therefore your net gain would be 0.
Right, yeah, you're not storing any, or you're not under any either. Now, the only thing I can feel, or I can think of here, is that if you're producing your own, you can always look over and see how much excess you have, and when it starts creeping up out of that green area towards the yellow, that's sort of like a little early warning for you that maybe you need to start, planning an upgrade.
That's true.
Whereas if you're buying the service from another city, if all of a sudden you start to demand more than they are able to supply, you won't know until until you have negative.
Yeah, stuff will just start turning off on you, and you'll be like, what the heck's going on?
Yep.
Then you gotta, smack your partner upside the head and say, hey, man, get on the stick.
Yeah, upgrade over there. Seriously, people need to turn on the lights. People got to poop in the bathroom and want to see where they're going.
That's right.
That's it. Obviously, that's all these people do. They drink and poop.
That's right.
And gamble.
So right here, I'm again at a water deficit. I think I have about, 8 towers at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a
I'm
couple
looking
on the other side, so.
Yeah, I'm looking to get a pumping station going on.
Yeah, watch the water needle here when he places this here too. So we're deficit of 6.1 right now. As soon as he locks that sucker in, boom! Glug,
91.
glug. Oh, I'm drowning looking at it.
A bath for everyone.
Yeah,
we can have swimming pools again.
These silly people, they want their baths and, hot water. Who knows? Look at all these homeless people running around too.
Yeah, I go a little whack-a-mole with the bulldozer sometimes, and they don't like that.
That's all right. They'll just find their way to a nice park somewhere and curl up on a bench and die.
That's what I got my police for. I'll just arrest them.
There you go. That seems fair. Just tell them to go have a barbecue. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, we got enough pavilions in here.
Yeah, no sweat. It's not going to be a thing at all. Oh, man, that thing looks just...
That's Black Death, ladies and gentlemen, up there in the corner.
Oh. That all used to be green and lush, but no. Oh, here you're pulling your bond trick, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Explain this here again. This is like you're paying off what you owe, right? So that you can take out more than what you had available previously?
Exactly. So if you only owe 17,000 and you can get out 50, you're gaining essentially, what, 32,000?
Yeah, 32, 33. So yeah, you can pay off what you owe and then immediately extract more than what you had to pay, and you still have a nice net gain there. So
yeah, so that's a net gain of around 90 grand for me right here.
Yeah, when you do this all the way through. So this is really nice.
And I believe I pointed this out before, but if you guys have a Department of Finance, you can extract bigger loans than 50K. That's just since I didn't have the time to put one in here.
All right. Ah, here it is, the infamous sci-fi casino.
Yes, I was so excited to place this. I thought this was going to be one of the coolest looking casinos out there.
And it is. I mean, truth be told.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was having trouble kind of figuring out where to place it because the grids are kind of funny because I didn't draw them that well.
Yeah. And hilariously, what I find really enjoyable here is like you didn't want to move any more. You didn't want to draw any more roads, it seems. You're like, no, everything's going to go here.
Well, I tried to put it over there because it's by the train terminal. That's why I wanted to put it right.
Oh, yeah, true. You want to kind of keep it close to your bus station and your trains. Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense. And plus, right in the center of all that housing, I mean, people are just going to come in there. But unfortunately, not going to have much room to upgrade.
Yeah, hindsight is 20/20. So I unfortunately picked a section of the road to where you guys will see in just a second. I tried to put down a room, and the road behind it won't let me.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, this is awful, and this is one of those things that you, when you're glad you're playing early, or if you haven't done this before, you're glad you're watching this video now, so you know not to make this mistake. You were able to place one tower there, but yeah, no rooms. No extra little add-ons there or anything. It was just kind of a pain. The only other thing I think you can get going here is a sign, right?
Yeah. No, I wanted to add more rooms to increase your tourism, but Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's just a shame too, because it's a really, really cool casino, and when you start tacking on the other rooms and everything, it starts looking even nicer.
And that's how you really get those big profits, is you want your tourists to come in and stay at your casino.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want them to stay there the night. You know, they come in, they play, they stay there, they get up the next day, they play some more. You know, it's a great way to turn a profit and turn something like that into a real big moneymaker for your city. But unfortunately, you need to be able to place it somewhere where you can put down all those extra buildings, you know, and do good work. So, and now you're just trying to like bulldoze the road behind it, if I'm not mistaken here.
My thinking here was that maybe if I got rid of the road, I could place a couple rooms and get that going. But unfortunately, it kept wanting to select the darn casino.
Yeah, it's like, I think what was going on was the tower there was using that little bit of road, and if you tried to delete it, it was going to delete the tower, and if you delete the tower, then it deletes the entire thing. So,
yeah, pro tip.
Yeah, this is just,
it's terrible.
Terrible, terrible situation here. Because as we know, guys, if you place a building, there's no way to get the money back. You can't go back and ask for a redo. You know?
Yeah, there's no undo button, unfortunately.
Yeah, this isn't Command and Conquer or anything. You sell the building for half or anything like that either. I mean, it's down there.
Trying to zoom in, I was just wanting to select that tiny little piece of road. Just that little...
No, it's not letting you do it. Sorry. It's so bad. Such a bummer.
Yeah, this casino was an interesting lesson for me.
Yeah, especially it was to the tune of around 130 grand, 140 grand with the tower or something like that.
Yeah, 130.
And you're like, oh, let's destroy the tower, but oh no, it actually destroys the casino as well.
Yeah, I totally meant to just destroy the tower, not the whole thing. And I failed hard.
Yeah, you can't do that, unfortunately.
You cannot undo a module placement, which would be a nice feature for them to add, actually.
That would be kind of nice. Yeah, that would have been good to know before you press the button and threw away 6 figures. So that would have been neat.
Exactly. And I can't renew those bonds anytime soon.
Yeah, no doubt. Seriously. So back down to around 60K and turn your attention up to, you know, other services here instead.
Yeah,
take a look at that block.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
Yeah, back to the Sarlacc pit up here.
That looks even better at night.
It does.
Seriously.
It's very creepy looking. I'm just going to go ahead and wait till I get a few more ticks in here and start running a sewage treatment plant. As I mentioned before, it will take the ground pollution and get rid of it, and it will also treat your water so that you don't have any additional pollution.
Yeah, which is excellent. You know, and that's certainly worthy of doing that. And here, you know, you could have just shut off these in case you ever needed to turn them back on, but, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
I chose to bulldoze them because it makes me happy.
You go bulldoze happy, and I think you were just kind of used to it from blowing up the casino.
Oh, that burned.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I got to get these things in now, you know.
Exactly.
Before I get in the game and make my own really crazy mistakes. So.
So as you guys can see there in the bottom right, the water went from 100% treated, from 0 to 100 actually.
Yeah, just because of that one plant, which is awesome.
Yeah, that just shows you the capacity. I believe I had 6 or 7 outlet pipes there, and this is one treatment plant.
And you still got 18, you know, excess there, which is awesome. But we'll go ahead and wrap things up here with that video and end in our standard style of showing poop. And we got one more of these left, guys, so to showcase the end of the beta and ring us in for the full launch. So stay tuned for that, and click the links down there if you need to navigate around the channel a little bit. Leave us a comment, tell us what you like, what you don't, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy.